Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to this celebration of the Waysack Festival, which is held in the solar sign of Taurus with the full moon in Scorpio. So let us begin by gathering ourselves. We're in different parts of the world, and yet we're occupying the same virtual space, the same inner reality. So let's begin by creating a unified field of communion. And we do this by becoming still, becoming centered, becoming aware of our breath, allowing it to gently rise and fall, rise and fall, releasing any tensions that may be held in our physical body, any swirlings that may be occurring in our emotional body, any thoughts that may be racing in our mental body. Allow all of these to move out, to be released, so that we stand in a place of deep stillness together. And we turn our focus inwards and stand inside the heart, the center of the universe of self, the center of our life. And we become aware of the beating of our own heart. And as the lifeblood circulates around our body through the beating of our heart, we realize that we are each part of a greater heart that circulates the power and presence of love throughout the universe. So let us join heart to heart to heart, seeing all of our hearts joined together by lighted lines of love. And this lighted matrix of love is our group heart. It is the sacred space in which we will stand together and enter meditation. Thank you. So let's take a deep breath because we are going deep together. This is the Wesak full moon. It's a very powerful full moon. And as we suggested in the information that was sent out earlier, you may have received it, is that if you would have a glass or a bowl of water nearby, if you want to participate in the blessing, because part of the Wesak festival is the blessing of the Buddha and his energies transmitted into a great crystal bowl of water in the Himalayas. And we're recreating that in our own homes, in our own spaces. And we'll partake of that blessing together. So if you have a bowl or a glass or a container of water next to you, that will allow you to fully enter into the spirit of our meditation. So let me give a few words about this particular festival, which is the second of the three major festivals. So the Wesak festival of light climaxes with the gift of the Buddha descending into the sphere of earth. And we're told that for a period of 8 minutes, the Buddha pours the energies of will and light into the etheric planes of earth during the time of the exact full moon, particularly the Taurus full moon. And this results in a heightened spiritual stimulation. So let's look at Taurus. It's called the Taurian Eye of the Bull. It's also called the Eye of Vision. And this quality is reflected in the spiritual motto of this sign, which is, I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. So to place this in context, the Festival of Wesak follows the Easter Festival of Resurrection in Aries and precedes the Festival of Goodwill in Gemini. And it uniquely observes both a historical occurrence and a present living event. So let's reflect over the past few centuries. Over 2,600 years ago, as a student of the Upanishads and Vedas, Prince Siddhartha Gautama was moved by compassion to search by every means possible for the cause of and the remedy to human misery and suffering. And we know from reading his stories the trials and tribulations that he went through. But as a result of his singleness of purpose and selfless strivings, he attained Buddhic consciousness. He achieved enlightenment and earned the title of Buddha, the Enlightened One. And ever since his great achievement at the exact time of the Taurus solar festival, through an act of great sacrifice and love for humanity, he returns from his elevated place to bring light and blessings to our long-suffering planet. That's the promise of the Buddha. So in cooperation with other guides, elders, and watchers of our Earth's evolution, he seeks to increase the flow of light into our world and, quote, throw the light of wisdom, experience, and understanding into human minds, thus inspiring us to move forward into greater light and a greater consciousness. And we know his four noble truths reveal the causes of human trouble and point to a remedy. So his message can be paraphrased in the following words that significantly resonate for our times. If you imagine the Buddha speaking now to us and saying these four truths: cease to identify yourselves with material things. Gain a proper sense of the spiritual values. Cease regarding possessions and earthly existence as of major importance. Follow the noble eightfold path, which is the path of right relations to God and to each other, and thus be happy. So those four noble truths, pretty basic, pretty straightforward, but to live them and to have them come true inside our society requires day-by-day application. So because the Buddha achieved full enlightenment, he actually indicates the way for those who still suffer and are aggrieved. There's a way through it. His message is really eternal, and it's just as applicable today as it was when he first enunciated his Four Noble Truths. Truths which, when practiced, will lead to enlightenment, resulting in the cessation of suffering, the increase of compassion, and therefore a world of greater stability and tranquility. And it's often said that the entire secret of divine purpose and planning is hidden in this sign of Taurus, owing fundamentally to the present-day relationship existing among the Pleiades, the constellation of the Great Bear, and our solar system. These energies constitute one of the most important triangles in our entire cosmic series of relationships, enhanced by the fact that the eye of the bull of God, as mentioned earlier, is the eye of revelation and vision. So the eye of vision of the individual must likewise open in response to this cosmic light. When our eye is single, then our body shall be full of light. Victory is inevitable because the potency of cosmic energy will unfailingly and in time sublimate and reorient the energy of humanity and bring it from a lower vibration to a higher frequency. So the emphasis in Taurus is upon struggle, cosmic, planetary, and individual struggle, for desire will underlies the manifested activities of all life and forms. It is the struggle of that which is deeply hidden in darkness to reach the light of day. It is the struggle of the hidden soul to control the outer form. It is the struggle to transmute desire into aspiration and aspiration into the will to achieve. It is that struggle to attain the goal which an increasing light reveals. So thus, humanity as a whole, and each of us individually, each of us on this call, must choose our own path and walk that path. So in preparation for our meditation today, let us recount and recall the legend of Waysack handed down to us by the ageless wisdom teachings. I'm going to be reading an abridged version. Here's the legend. There is a valley lying at a rather high altitude in the foothills of the Himalayan Tibet ranges. It is surrounded by high mountains on all sides except towards the northeast, where there is a narrow opening in the mountain ranges. The valley is, therefore, bottle-shaped in contour, with the neck of the bottle to the northeast, and it widens very considerably towards the south. Up towards the northern end, close to the neck of the bottle, there is to be found a huge flat rock. There are no trees or shrubs in the valley, which is covered with a kind of coarse grass, but the sides of the mountain are covered with trees. Approaching the time of the full moon of Taurus, pilgrims from all the surrounding districts begin to gather. The holy people and lamas find their way into the valley and fill the southern and the middle parts, leaving the northeastern end relatively free. There, so the legend runs, gathers a group of those great beings who are the custodians on earth of God's plan for our planet and for our humanity. This group of knowers of divinity are the main participants in the Wesak festival. They range themselves in the northeastern end of the valley and in concentric circles, according to the status and grade of their initiatory development, prepare themselves for a great act of service. In front of the rock, looking towards the northeast, stand those beings who are called by their disciples the three great lords. These are the Christ, who stands in the center, the Lord of living forms, the Manu, who stands on his right, and the Lord of civilization, who stands on his left. These three face the rock upon which rests a great crystal bowl full of water. Those present in their physical bodies have found their way there by ordinary means. Others are present in their spiritual bodies and in their dream state. The dream, which they later relate, has been uniformly registered by people throughout the world and bears the testimony to the recollection of an inner spiritual happening. So as the hour of the full moon approaches, a stillness settles down upon the crowd, and all look towards the northeast. certain ritualistic movements take place in which the grouped masters and their disciples of all ranks take up symbolic positions and other well-known formations, all of which have a deep and potent meaning. This is all done to the sound of certain chanted words and esoteric phrases called mantras. The expectancy in the waiting, onlooking crowd becomes very great, and the tension is real and increasing. Through the entire body of people, there seems to be felt a stimulation or potent vibration which has the effect of awakening the souls of those present, fusing and blending the group into one united whole, and lifting all into a great act of spiritual demand, readiness, and expectancy. It is the climax of the world's aspiration focused in this waiting group. These three words, demand, readiness, and expectancy, best describe the atmosphere surrounding those present in this secret valley. And then the chanting and the rhythmic weaving grow stronger, and all raise their eyes towards the sky in the direction of the narrow part of the valley. A few minutes before the exact time of the full moon, in the far distance, a tiny speck can be seen. It comes nearer and glows and grows in clarity and definiteness of outline until the form of the Buddha can be seen, seated in the cross-legged Buddha position, clad in his saffron-colored robe, bathed in light and color, and with his hand extended in blessing. When he arrives at a point exactly over the great rock, hovering there in the air over the heads of the three great lords, a great mantram used only once a year at the festival is intoned by the Christ, and the entire group of people in the valley fall upon their faces. This invocation sets up a great vibration or thought current, which is of such potency that it reaches up from the group of aspirants, disciples, or initiates who employ it to the being we know as God. It marks the supreme moment of intensive spiritual effort throughout the entire year, and the spiritual vitalization of humanity and the spirituality of this moment affects and lasts throughout the succeeding months. It is the highlight. It is the charging of the battery for the whole year. The effect of this great invocation is universal or cosmic, and it serves to link us up with that cosmic center of spiritual energy from which all creative beings have come. The blessing is poured forth by the Buddha, and the Christ, as the world teacher and representative of humanity, receives it in trust for distribution. Thus, so the legend runs, the Buddha returns once a year to bless the world, transmitting through the world teacher renewed spiritual life. Slowly then, the Buddha recedes into the distance until again only a faint speck can be seen in the sky, and this eventually disappears. The whole ceremonial blessing from the time of the first appearance in the distance until the moment the Buddha fades out of view takes just 8 minutes. And it actually takes 8 minutes for the light of the sun to reach Earth. So here in this image is an encapsulation of the whole ritual. So when the Buddha has again disappeared, the crowd rises to their feet. The water in the bowl is distributed in tiny portions to the masters, initiates, and disciples, and they then go their way to their place of service. The crowd, who have all brought their cups and vessels of water, drink from them and share with others. In this beautiful water ceremony of communion, we have preserved for us in symbol an indication of the new age which is today upon us, the Aquarian age, the age of the water carrier, the water bearer. It is the age of a person bearing a pitcher of water. The water which has been magnetized by the presence of the Buddha and of the Christ carries certain properties and virtues of a healing and helpful nature. Thus blessed, the crowd silently disperses. The masters and the disciples return with renewed strength to undertake another year of world service. So runs the ancient legend. So that's a powerful story that's been handed down to us, and it sort of sets the scene for what we're about to enter. So throughout time, these religious festivals have been commemorations of historical events and teachers. But as we move into the future, our understanding of religion will move away from this remembrance of things past and of spiritual teachers from antiquity into a recognition of the livingness of the events that are occurring now. So the observance of the Wesak festival is part of this shift into a sense of livingness. And although this is the festival of the Buddha, it is not the Buddha of 2,500 years ago that is being celebrated, but rather the living Buddha and the message of healing he comes to bring to our needy world. So the Wesak ceremony is related to the massed intent of the illumined souls and the mass demand of the world's seekers, which in turn is drawn forth by the collective need of the people of the world in all lands. And we can see this today all around the world. The demand for peace, the call for light, the call for compassion. And we're being called to make our contribution to the great work of planetary redemption. This is our current assignment. So just before we go into the meditation, if you want to make sure that you have a glass or a bowl of water with you, because it will be magnetized during the meditation. And this will allow us all to participate in this great act of blessing as a group. So here we are, standing together in virtual space as a light-hearted matrix and a lighted heart matrix made up of us weaving our hearts together, heart to heart to heart. Let's reflect on this image. This is Mount Kailash, the mountain of the bell. It is this mountain, Mount Kailash, that connects Gaia, our planet, with the cosmos and watches over this profound ceremony in the nearby valley. So Mount Kailash is in Tibet, and it anchors the will. It anchors the fire of purpose upon our planet. It is a sacred mountain. So with the note of the Waysack legend ringing in the ethers, and hopefully with a sense of joyful expectancy in our hearts, Diana will now lead us in the full moon meditation.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael, and Meditation Mount, and everybody up there in Ojai. This powerful light point on the planet. And thank you for all being here and joining us on this really powerful, most important full moon of the year for the Wesak. As we enter this, the doors, the opening, the threshold, we cross into the depths of this meditation. We begin to recognize, even before we've begun, inside the meditation, we can feel the lighted hearts that we are all connected with, heart to heart to heart, as Michael said. And so we are all united as a unified consciousness, as a unified point of awareness on the planet, on this particular full moon. Tonight, the full moon is at 9:11 exactly. And so we're just before this full moon that's coming, and the energy is increasing and increasing, and these hours just before and minutes just before any full moon, but this one particularly, become more and more and more potent. And you can sense the intensity of the increased voltage, wattage of the as above, so below energies when they connect, right? And so tonight also is a total lunar eclipse that will be visible on the West Coast and across much of the US. And so as the moon rises tonight at 8 p.m., coming up over, it's going to be rising in eclipse. So this adds more power and also more time in terms of how these energies are going to be experienced on our planet over a period of time. So it's very powerful tonight. So we're so grateful that you're all here. And when many are gathered, right, in this way, we created an important and powerful placement, a vessel for these energies to land into. So this is the second of the three festivals, the Buddhic one. And this is when the energies begin to coalesce into things, into life experiences, into and downloading into our minds and brains and to our lives. And so as you're getting ready to touch those energies as we go into the meditation in some moments, you're wanting to clear the fields of your own tensions and worries of the day and start to clear yourself so that you are more and more accessible to this pure, once a year light that lands always, almost always, in the month of May, May's full moon. As you sense that we are all interconnected as the new group of world servers, we are conjoined as we carry this light together as it begins to move through the meditation when we enter it. We'll be in the meditation for about 10 minutes in the silence. And so that's enough time, 8 minutes is the magic number, to be able to have the whole experience of letting the light descend to ground, for us to recognize and hold that energy, and then next month it releases out on the next full moon, which is the last of the three festivals. So really appreciating this time of knowing our interconnectedness that creates a fabric that is also known as the mother of the world, or another way of saying it is a field of light, a field of loving, conscious light that holds these energies effortlessly. So when you're ready to, we're going to move into the meditation in just a moment. So set yourself up in a comfortable way. And I'm going to actually begin and end with Ohms tonight for this particular full moon. And we'll end with the Great Invocation and 3 Ohms following. And I'm going to use the Om in the beginning as well today to just really consciously blend the energies that are from around the world in this meditation, from every part, all meeting together in that same harmony. So wherever you are, you can say them with me, or you can allow the note of my own Om to Om you, or you can Om with me, however you like, as we balance the bodies. So when you're ready to, close your eyes and align the personality with the soul, consciously making that conscious alignment. Recognizing that field of the light, that field of light that is the field of the mother of the world, connecting And poised, we take our place within the ashram and its purpose. Connecting with all beings of awareness all around the planet of the new group of world servers. In form and not in form. Millions of lights, millions of points of light around the world. And from your heart, just recognizing all this spiritual family, kindred hearts. And bring your attention inward now to take your seat in the heart of the head center. And from this place, we'll do one Om to balance the physical body. Letting the body come to peace and calm. And with your next breath, balancing the emotional body. And finally, balancing the mental body with the breath. And from your seat in the heart of the head, in the cave center, feeling already that illumination of that outpouring of light. And sensing the soul. And sending a line of light through the masters and teachers. The triangle of the Buddha, Christ, and Sanat Kumara. All the way to Sirius, making your alignment now. And into the silence, we'll use this keynote from Taurus for this particular full moon. And I'm going to use the idea of this point of consciousness first. I stand as a conscious point of awareness in concert with the group of world servers. And in this light, I see. The seed thought is, I see. And when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. I see. And when the eye is open, all is illuminated. illumination. Illumination. I see. And when the eye is opened, all is illuminated. Beginning the descent now, to allow your mind and consciousness to begin that process of circulating the impressions that you have received into the group chalice. And into the group auric field. Illumination. And then allow these impressions to formulate now and in these next hours and days into thought forms, and make their impression in the lower mind substance. And over time, allowing these things to become ideas, inventions, realizations, illuminations in the life. We'll use the adapted version of the Great Invocation, followed by 3 ohms. If you know it, say it with me. If you don't, just follow along and feel the energy, the intelligence of this prayer, of this invocation. Still in that lighted state, in your lighted house of your lighted consciousness. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into all human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Good. Thank you. I pass it back to Michael. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Diana. So we're partaking in this global ritual of blessing, and the light of the Buddha has been transmitted to Earth, and that crystal bowl sitting on the rock, the northeastern end of the valley in the Himalayas, has been charged, electrically charged with the light and blessing of the Buddha. And we, in our own ritual, with whatever water container, whether it be a glass or a bowl, I invite you now just to take it in your hand and in gratitude offer thanks for the gift of life. Symbolically, this water has been charged, and we have been blessed and energized for another round of service. I invite us each together now to take a sip of that water and allow it to enter our own body. And as you take the sip of water, feel the light of the cosmos stimulate every atom of your being, releasing the light within matter. And we will complete our meditation today by using the Buddhist prayer of blessing together. So if you wish, you can have your hands raised and palms outwards. Compassion to all beings, north, south, east, west, above, below. Compassion to all beings. Love to all beings, north, south, east, west, above, below. Love to all beings. Joy to all beings, north, south, east, west, above, below. Joy to all beings. Peace to all beings, north, south, east, west, above, below. Peace to all beings. So thank you everyone for participating in this great ritual of blessing, because each of us is part of a great chain of blessing. That is what the one life is as it circulates. We are each chains in this great chain of blessing. We're each links in the chain, and each of us, as we bring light and love and blessing each day to our world, we become part of the circulation of blessing, the anchoring of light on earth, so that light and love and power may restore the plan on earth. So thank you everyone for your presence and participation in this planetary ritual. And from Meditation Mount, we bid you good night and blessings, blessings to all beings.